apartment is centrally located in one of the most, I think, iconic Woolstores here in Brisbane, the Winchcombe Carson building in Tenerife. And yeah, because it's centrally located, there's no external windows. Everything is above you and on the Sawtooth roof. Within the apartment, there is square shaped essentially, and within the center, there's a large, I think 4x4, 4.5 by 4.5 central atrium, which leads up to almost a clear kind of roof structure.
Glazed, all four sides, all the way up.
Yeah, very cool space.
We basically updated every room or every space of the apartment. There was an existing paint colour that the client had already had the apartment recently painted, that we had to have all the tiles and bench tops and joinery fronts and timber, everything we really had to make sure worked with the existing paint colour.
The client brief for the project as a whole was to update the apartment to suit them for the next, 3 to 4 years until they wanted to retire and downsize. Our main focus though was the kitchen and kind of dining area, and then the primary suite upstairs as well.
Yeah, the owners had quite a distinct style that they wanted to achieve in the apartment. We went through multiple images of their favourite architectural interiors. So we drew a lot of inspiration on that after researching them a little bit. So that's basically, she had really strong ideas, and we just had to implement that.
That's right. I think the main thing that we gathered from researching all of these different architects and designers was that everything was quite tonal and it was clean lined and
very simple.
Very simple, but it had interest to it because there was textural differences or small pattern differences and that sort of thing. So I think we really drew off of that. Yeah,
all the spaces were very minimal, very modern. Definitely a few items had that visual impact.
Yes.
So we again took that on board. But overall, it was just modern and simple.
Yep, timeless. Yeah, I think obviously the kitchen is the centerpiece of the home, and the client wanted to take off a few things, and the main thing, I guess, was improved storage and organization. They wanted integrated appliances. They wanted to really, I think one of the main things was to bring light in, because the only windows in that whole unit are from the Sawtooth roof above. Like, there's no external windows. So that was, I think, a challenge that we needed to take on.
And one of the initial design details that we came up with was an actual glass light box between the floor level. And one of the budget constraints that was removed, so we created this beautiful light well in underneath the kitchen bulkheads that had quite a powerful LED, a day-wide LED. So, when that light is turned on, it just feels like that light's travelling through from those sawtooth ceilings above.
I don't think so. I think that we opted to go for the open shelf because we went full height everywhere else. We had 2.7 high ceilings, like Darren said, and by taking the rest of the joinery up to the ceiling, that kitchen was huge. When you actually stand in it, it's overwhelming by actually how much storage there is there. And we were able to achieve drawers everywhere else. We had inner drawers for more storage that you just can't see. It keeps things really clean. And no, I think the shelf is a good way to go.
The key is not going too beige.
Yeah.
I think layering some textures, having some interest. Kari had selected this beautiful timber grain pre-finished board from Nickpole. It had slight whitewashed oak feel to it, so that was a play on that beige or the warm cream tone of the wall paint. So, by introducing not a solid colour, just that timber grain element, I think was a nice touch.
Yeah. So again, tying back to the play on light and increasing light within the space, we decided to go for a polished bench top, and that just helps to reflect things a little bit. It wasn't overly polished in any way, and we opted for a decked on product that was in this really striking natural stone look. It actually played off of the Patagonia quartzite look. So that again was tonal, but it had punches of golds and really dark browns, and that I think sat beautifully against that Nickpole product. Because we decided to go for that open shelf above the cooking area, we didn't have the ability to have an overhead range hood, and we didn't really want one either. So we ended up going for the basic range from Bora, which allowed us to have an integrated range hood or exhaust fan down into the bench, and we directed it away from the cooking zone so that as it exhausts out, you know, you're not standing in your cooking fumes. And that was a really good thing about Bora and why we chose that product.
There was a couple of challenges with the apartment, a couple of big ones. We've already mentioned the light. Yes. and the only light source coming from the sawtooth ceilings above and through the central void. But the other one was the fire ratings. Yeah. And because we have created another primary suite, which means it's a new bedroom, and then we've transformed the other primary suite into a more of an enclosed space as well. Yeah. The fire hydrant length
for the hose reel
is, you know, it was a real struggle. We managed to somehow come up with an idea of adding another fire door into the existing primary suite just below the mezzanine floor.
It was like a light bulb moment.
A light bulb moment. There was a hydrant 10 metres outside the doorway, which gave us the length of the fire hydrant hose to get into the new rooms that we constructed. The central atriums, it's a really lovely amount of light. It also does let in rain at some stages as well. So it is open to the elements. It is covered, but in certain storms and certain weather events, you know, they do get rainfall down through that atrium. So it's quite nice. Yeah.
When we were engaged as well, one of the main things the client wanted was to bring the outdoors in, because she didn't have views to the outside unless she looked up. She thought, I've got this beautiful atrium, let's do something with it. We decided to bring in an artificial tree, and we were able to get, I think, a 5-meter high, like weeping fig style of tree. We did a French lay tile pattern and surrounded that in some artificial turf, which no matter where you look now throughout the apartment, you can see greenery, which is really cool.